Great. Hi, everyone, and thanks for joining us today for this webinar on how to accelerate sales revenue with apps. My name is Dave Dixon, and I'm on the Digital Publishing Suite team here at Adobe. And I'm joined today by a special guest of ours, Alexander Page-Relo, who's the Chief Information Officer of Remy Contreau USA, the spirits distiller and manufacturer. And he'll be presenting in a little bit about how they are enabling their sales teams with apps produced with Digital Publishing Suite. I'll go over some information here at the beginning and then turn the time over to Alex in just a little bit, and then we'll save some time for questions at the end. If you have questions, feel free to type them in on the chat pod to your left, and we'll address them towards the end. So it's a really exciting time for apps and mobile marketing in general. You know, the landscape that marketers have faced is changing and rapidly accelerating. In June, the Pew Research Center released a study noting that about a third of U.S. adults now own a tablet. So clearly tablets have proliferated. They're a mechanism with which you can address your consumers and also enable your sales reps to have rich sales conversations with interactivity that really accelerate the sales cycle. Also, consumers are connected all the time through all channels. This study from the Online Publishers Association notes that 85% of U.S. adults use two screens while they're watching TV, and about two-thirds, in fact, use three screens. So consumer attention is really fragmented, and mobile apps offer a really rich way to engage your consumers, and despite the fragmentation of attention. You know, what we're seeing as we're talking with our customers is that to address some of this consumer fragmentation, they're adopting a media mindset. They're really looking at content marketing and enabling their consumers, their sales reps with content in order to have these rich, productive sales conversations really across all channels, whether that be through offline media or online through the web, through tablets, through mobile devices, and apps certainly are a part of that. In fact, when we take a look at mobile marketing mix, what we're finding with our customers is that they're finding that mobile web is a really great way to drive awareness because of its broad reach and relatively easy mode of production. But then when they're looking at affecting the consideration, purchase, and loyalty ends of the purchase spectrum, mobile apps really fit that bill because of the rich interactivity, the rich content that could be displayed on a tablet device, the device form factor that enables a lean-back purchasing experience, or augmenting a sales conversation in one-on-one interactions, or training and educating reps. Also, again, that rich interaction on a tablet device really lends itself to that engagement and product education. You know, Digital Publishing Suite started about 2 or 3 years ago with the advent of the iPad. We worked with a variety of magazine publishers to help transform their content for tablet devices, helping them reinvent their brands and add immersive interactivity to attract their consumers on this new class of device. But over the last 1 to 2 years, we've seen a variety of other use cases also. Everything from customer communication, like annual reports and brochures, to catalogs, to brand engagement. Red Bulletin is the publication of Red Bull, for example, that has a really rich information laden and interactive publication to immerse people in the world of Red Bull. And those are public-facing examples. Also a lot of private-facing examples, too, distributed only within an enterprise. Things like sales enablement apps, which we'll look here at in just a minute, to private publishing, apps that are only distributed within an enterprise. You won't find them on the iTunes store, the App Store, but only really destined to sales reps to help them be educated that they can show the app within a one-to-one selling situation and accelerate sales cycles, all with reduced production costs and accelerated time to market. So a variety of customers using DPS right now, all top-tier brands and some of the world's largest global brands. One of them that's using it for sales enablement is Sotheby's International Realty. They estimate they save about $1 million a year because they don't have to distribute as many printed brochures to their affiliates, their real estate affiliates worldwide. They can just update the content and push live content to their affiliates so they can articulate the marketing messages of listing with this global real estate network. Again, this is an internal app that you won't be able to find on the App Store, but they're finding benefits of educating their sales reps through this. This is just one example, and we'll look at here in just a minute, Remy Contreau, the spirits distiller and distributor, how they're using DPS and sales apps to enable their sales force also. And one thing that's important to note about the DPS production platform is that it really increases time to market for your app and decreases cost because it uses designers to produce your app content. Instead of using custom coders, custom development to produce your app, you can leverage your design team, starting with InDesign and Creative Cloud. So within InDesign, you can add interactivity to your InDesign layouts and then upload them to Digital Publishing Suite, the post-production platform, which allows you to assemble the layouts in the cloud, build a branded app, and then you can distribute that among your sales force and download content from our hosted servers into your branded app, and then your sales reps can download different folios, different publications, whether that's for different products, for different events that you're hosting, or other educational opportunities. And those are downloaded from the cloud into your branded app, and your sales reps can be educated and show those to your customers in one-to-one sales conversations. One of the important parts of this is the analytics that are baked into it. So without custom tagging or custom coding, analytics are already implemented in DPS apps and report back how your sales reps, how your customers are interacting with your app and content. From there, you can fine-tune interactivity, you can see what content resonates the best, and what's performing well in order to optimize your content for greatest sales impact. So again, this starts with designers, allows you to more iteratively create your content in a more collaborative fashion and use those designer skill sets to drive down the cost of publication. So that's a brief overview of how DPS content and apps are produced. So with that introduction to the lay of the mobile marketing landscape and how DPS fits into that, I'd like to turn it over to Alexander Page-Relo, who again is the Chief Information Officer USA, and they've been using DPS to enable their sales team with apps through a variety of different ways. He'll talk about some of the use cases they've been using, as well as show some of the apps that they're enabling their sales force with. So without further ado, Alex, I'll turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you, Dave. Thanks for the introduction. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for attending today. What I'll try to do today is talk a little bit about what Remy Contreau does and what our products are, as you may be familiar with the products more than with the company, and I'll try to highlight how we've used DPS to go to market a bit more efficiently. So first and foremost, you can see on your screen the different brands that we have. We are specializing in cognac, very high-end premium products, so especially cognac, the orange liqueur, Contreau, some champagne, some brandies, rums, and other products that we distribute here in the U.S., Scotch whiskies like the Macallan or Island Park. So as I said, today I'm going to try to walk you through, give you a little bit of insight on what we do as a company so that you can understand what use we've made of DPS for our sales force and in what context we use that tool, and we plan on expanding on that usage in the future. Before we begin, just wanted to give you a quick intro on myself. I'm the CIO for Remy Contreau USA. I've been with Remy Contreau for 4.5 years now. started as a product manager for the SAP migration, was in charge of finance, and then interested the order-to-cash piece. Came to the business through the system engineering, and the things that I'm responsible now range from SAP to infrastructure to the different CRMs that we have in the cloud for our different sales team, business projects for the different departments, and obviously the digital marketing support. All of this to say that coming from a very technical background, I like to know and understand the tools that I'm choosing for my company, and that was something that was key in my choosing of DPS, as I believe that it was built the right way and it was heading in the right direction for what we wanted to achieve here at Remy. A little bit about Remy Contreau. As I said, a premium portfolio of wines and spirits. One of the most premium one is the Louis XIII Cognac, a very high-end premium Cognac, and the Remy Martin brand that follows in that lineage. The Cointreau liqueur, the rum, that invented rum, the Monguet. For the U.S., we're about 250 employees, but it's much larger worldwide, about 1,700 employees worldwide. The U.S. are doing about a third of the total sales for the group, and our role is basically to import the product to all 50 states in the U.S. And we have a relationship with wholesalers in different states so that they can go to market with our products. Because of the way the legislation works in the U.S., Remy Cointreau USA cannot sell directly to accounts, so retailers, liquor stores, on-premise accounts. So we go through those distributors or wholesalers to help us go to market, place orders, and try to promote our brands. So my first slide is about the use case. What was the need for DPS, or at least some kind of publishing? Remy Cointreau, as I said, cannot sell directly to retailers, so we partner with those distributors, and those distributors are placing the orders for us. However, we have our own sales force, and our own sales force is there not to take orders, but to educate accounts about our portfolio and act as pre-sales, if you will. Those accounts can be on-premise accounts or off-premise accounts, so it could be the restaurant next door, could be the liquor store next door. So we wanted to be able to go to those accounts and make presentations that can be tweaked or be as intuitive as possible. We never know if we're going to get 5 minutes with the manager or if we're going to get 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So it's good that we have everything available at a swipe of a finger, so that we can switch from one topic to the other or switch from one brand to the next. As we putting those tools in the hands of our sales force, we also wanted to go beyond just educating people about, educating accounts about our brands. We wanted also to use it as a training book internally. So we wanted to have this dual concept in that same platform. We have no need to deploy to end consumers. It's only internal tools for our sales force. And for us, it was very easy, and that the maintenance was, it was very important that the maintenance was easy, because as I said, it's not too many people working for Remy Cointreau here in the US. So we wanted to make sure that we used something that was very streamlined in terms of maintenance and support. So the solution that DPS provided for us was enabling us to find, to create some content, obviously with the Adobe tools, but keep the distribution restricted to our employees. Our sales force is spread across the U.S., and we don't always have our hands on those tablets. or phones. So we need to be able to reach those individuals based on internal security. So DPS allowed us to control that. We also needed to push updates monthly, and that was our goal, so that we could keep the content fresh and have users come back and make sure that they are aware of the different promotions that are going on in their respective markets. One of the key things to leverage this new technology of tablet was also to make it very interactive. So integrating videos, animations, ability to email directly from the tablet, as well as real-time news feed. We decided to do a big bang type of release where we stopped going to accounts with paper, those PowerPoint decks that we were lugging around, printed on reams of paper. We stopped doing this. No more leave behinds, and we just send everything electronically during the meeting, email the sales sheets, email the calculation that we've talked about. Everything is integrated into the tool, and it also directs the recipient to online content that we can make sure to update on a regular basis, so that if that link is bookmarked, we know that the manager of this account can always go there and see what's new on the promotion front for our new ROM, for example. The way we started, a very talented intern helped us get started. He dove into the Adobe tools and created a folio for each one of our brands with its own identity and trying to capture what the brand codes were. The thing that we also try to integrate, that we're still working on a little bit, is because our users are leveraging Salesforce.com as a CRM and they all carry iPads, we wanted to make sure that we could have a link between those two cloud-based digital platforms in order to track activity. So I've been to an account that has presented this material to understand and give us visibility on how much value this tool is adding to the company. Advantages to DPS. Obviously, the Adobe tools are an industry standard for content creation. When you talk to any creative anywhere around the world, the first tools that come up are always Adobe tools. So we knew that diving into DPS with Adobe, we would have providers to support us in our quest to creating this brand identity. You get to choose amongst a wide range of providers, and not everyone is a good fit for us. So we knew that we would find someone with the premium looks and the premium behavior that they could make transpire in those magazines for us. We believe at the time, and we still believe that it's the most mature publishing solution to date for tablet, and we trust that with the roadmap that Adobe has announced, that it will remain that way for the foreseeable future. And I have to say that the Adobe team provided outstanding support to get us started with DPS. As most companies, it was very important for us that it's cloud-based as much as possible. So that's the core of DPS. When you sign up for DPS, you get frequent emails about new functions, new features, enhancements, or upgrades. So it's very comforting to see that a wide, big team of people are working to improve the system that you're relying on. Same thing when you browse the web. There's a developer network that is very helpful and very resourceful to make sure that that everything that you would ever want to do is possible in DPS. And from what we've seen, some of those developers going and creating code for DPS, often those features make it to the mainstream product. So it's a very good environment to find resources and help whenever you are stuck. And the quality of the work combined with the flexibility of the tool really made us choose DPS. We started only in the US, but as time went by, it became the choice of our parent company for a worldwide deployment that's ongoing at the moment. So what we did with DPS, it's fairly simple. We had one iPhone app, just a quick cards about our brands, like cheat sheets, if you will, for each of our products. One iPad app where we have one folio or one magazine, if you will, per brand that we try to update on a monthly basis. And we played around with a cost calculator that I will show later in the demo. As I said, there is another iPad app coming from the group worldwide, but it's still being released, so I'm not sure I will show that today. The standard of the group is iPads and Apple devices, so we didn't feel the need for an Android app, even though it's something that's fairly easy to put off with the DPS tool. We didn't venture and create that at the moment. As I said earlier, we wanted this tool to be both training material and presentation material. So we use this trick of saying everything that's happening in landscape mode will be stuff that will be presented to accounts. So you have the wide screen in front of you. Everything that when you hold the iPad in portrait mode, like you're studying on the book, that's the training book for our sales force, what we call CAMs or key account managers. A few things that we also want to keep as contained as possible was loading all videos into one sections if possible. The way DPS works is you update sections. So if you put videos in every single section, every time you make a quick change or fix a typo on one page of that section, the users will have to re-download the video all over again. So it can be time-consuming for something as minor as fixing a typo. Another thing that our sales force is using those iPads for is making presentation or using that as a background when they talk or educate people during training sessions. So it was important to have high-resolution content so it could be broadcasted to big screen TVs or projectors if need be. Obviously, ability to email the sales sheets because that's what the accounts want to see. They want to know how big are the bottles, is it going to fit on the shelf, how much weight it is, what's the size, the width of it. So all of this is included and it can be sent by the flick of a finger. And we integrated links to our business applications, so directly to manufacturer websites, to other point-of-sale material from the app, and things of that nature. As I said, monthly updates to keep users engaged. That's very important for everything that's related to the news or the presence that we have on TV or in print. And also for our marketing schedule so that we keep track of events and promotions that are going on. Everything I've said so far is obviously very positive, and that's how we feel. However, it's not a painless experience. Like everything, there are downsides to it, but we've been able to overcome those fairly easily. Just something to prepare yourself for if you're willing to go down that path. Setting up the entitlement, for example, is quite complicated. If you're not a publishing house, it's not something that comes really standard in the tool, especially when we wanted to integrate with Active Directory for our internal security. That requires quite a bit of tweaking, so it's not a simple give my connection string and be done with it. So that's a bit more complicated than this. The download speeds are sometimes a bit slow. I mean, multiple factors are impacting that, obviously, and the general feeling it's never fast enough anyway. Our folios are pretty big, so it's the iPad often shuts down during the initial download, so you have to keep it awake by touching the screen every now and again, make sure that you download the full folio. At the beginning, we had also issues controlling the download of our cellular data, but that's something that has been resolved since. The collaboration on folios, trying to make the creatives and the brand team work together. When they're in the same office, it's fairly easy, but working remote, giving feedback on the creatives' work by the brand team, no real easy way to do that without really sitting at the table together. And one thing that we're looking at were Windows 8 tablets, but for the moment, no Adobe app. I think it's on the roadmap for later. So that's something that might enable us to converge the desktop and the tablet. So we're looking forward to that. A couple of things also in terms of hardware requirements. Building the apps require a Mac. So for us, that was really an intrusion in our network. Adobe tools often require very powerful machines. For us, light users of laptops, that was also a bit of an adjustment. And as I said, I mean, what's very good with Adobe is that the updates are frequent and common. At first, it can be a bit scary when you see all your tools being updated or your cloud-based dashboard being updated. You get used to it and you overcome the fear, but we've always had everything going smoothly, so nothing to worry too much about here. So without further ado, I'll jump today. I'm going to start with the iPad app, show you how everything is working with the iPad app, and I'll try then to do the iPhone video so that you can see what's there. All right, so you should now see an iPad screen. So this is the apps that we've customized. You can see RC, USA, viewer or partners. We've been able to obviously name our app and customize the logo to make it branded to our name. And this is our application. So you can see all the data that we have put together. So you can see our brands for Champagne at the top, the Charles Heidsieck, the Piper Heidsieck, folios about our portfolio, our different brands, Remy Martin V, the Contreau, the Remy Martin Cognac, the Montgay Rum. What I'll do is I'll quickly jump into, for example, the Contreau. I'm going to launch that quickly. And this is what it looks like. So again, as I'm in presentation mode here in landscape mode. You can see what we would go to accounts with, what we would give to the account manager to play with. We might even hand them the iPad directly so that they can navigate. So we try to make it as intuitive as possible. Here, basically, the index of the app. We talk about the history of the brand. You can see how the years go by and the evolution of the city of Angers, where the Contreau is made, has impacted the Contreau brand itself. Might not look as smooth on your screen, but it's very nice and pretty on the iPad itself. You can see at the top history movie that's embedding a movie about Contreau directly into the application. If we switch from the history to the original triple sec, you can learn a little bit more about the different steps in the creation of the Contreau, again with archive images, as this is what we go for in terms of brand concepts. We try to explain that. You can see that as much as possible we kept the text to a minimum, hoping that it will remain as nice to browse through as possible. If just for a moment I switch it to portrait mode, you can see that the content is switching, and I can actually get a lot more information, a lot more text here, because we want our brand people to know quite a bit in terms of background history, but we don't want to make the managers of those accounts go through that content. We go back to the presentation mode. I'll jump into the different tabs here. You can see at the bottom here the consumer sheet that I can directly email from the app. I just have to type the email address, have a template of the email that's ready to go, a link directly to the website where the person, the recipient, can receive that content. The comparison that we built with the competition, you can integrate lots of interesting dashboard or comparisons. So here you compare the Margarita when it's done with the Cointreau against the triple sec. And you can see this is for the sidecar. This is for the Cosmopolitan. So very, very easy to navigate and very instructive. Here we built something, we had a little bit of fun with this. You can see the essential oils in the Cointreau actually turning white, what we call opalescence, when it gets colder. So you just swipe your finger on the screen and you will see the drink turning white, or going back to warmer temperature, going transparent. So again, building interactivity to keep users engaged as much as possible. Then we can switch directly to the cocktails. We have a library of cocktails that are available at the tip of your fingers. Let's go with Margarita, ingredients, instruction, how to decorate it. And again, just by swiping, you can get high quality pictures, very standard walkthrough, so that you can really find what you are looking for very easily. Here we switch from the cocktails to the business side, where we try to give an idea of how much value our products are, and for the on-premise accounts. And you can also jump to what we call POS or point of sale material, where you have links at the top to order directly in the manufacturer's websites, and you can see a list of the different POS items that are available for us to order. And again, if I switch it back to the different view, to the portrait view, we can see inside information for our users, where we have the bartender training that's happening in the south in France at the Maison Contreau, and the different awareness and PR events that are happening here with our spokesperson, Dita Fontes. We have this, so as I said, for multiple brands. I mean, I can jump to another one and try to take you, again, to maybe say the drinks, and you'll be able to see a different presentation, a bit more modern, as this is what we're looking to the type of consumers that we're trying to reach with this drink. But again, very smooth transitions between the cocktails that showcase very good products, very well presented. Another interesting thing that I mentioned before was this project that we had, creating a profit calculator so that we can go to bars and on-premise accounts and show them how much they would benefit from having our cocktails listed. Here I'm going to do like a pour cost. So say my case of Cointreau is going to be $200, and there are 12 bottle per cases. It's going to calculate my bottle cost. There are 25 ounces in that bottle if it's 750 milliliters. And all of a sudden, I have my cost per ounce that starts showing up. If I add up for, say, $3 of ingredients, and I sell my cocktail for $14, it's New York after all, everything gets calculated. You can see the margin, you can see the pour cost, and the profit per drink automatically calculated. If that's something that you want to remember, you can just type in your email address, and the results will be in your mailbox as soon as we press the button. We have the same concept for the selling price when it's off-premise, so how much is the cost per bottle, and if my bottle is cost $35 and I want a 25% margin, it's going to calculate everything for me. If I want to round out the price to $49, the profit per bottle becomes $14.99. If I want to switch to the bottle per case, I have 12 bottles per case, then I can tell my distributor I want to order so many cases because I know I'm going to make almost $180 per case that I sell. And again, results can be emailed just by clicking at the bottom of the screen. I see a bit of lag on my screen. I don't know if it's the same for all of you. So that's for the iPad app. If I switch to the iPhone for now, Dave, can you see my iPhone now?
Why don't you reshare your screen, and then I think we'll be able to see it.
I have it on mine.
Let's see, I think if you just click share your screen again, and we'll be able to see it.
Yeah, disabled it. There we go.
There we go.
That should be, oh, okay. So as I said, this one is really a quick cheat sheet for our brands. We had in mind the kind of elevator speech that we would want to have for every brand that we have in our portfolio. So again, our list of cognacs, the Remy Martin V, VSOP 1738. I can just click on the brand and can see what it's made of. 65% Grand Champagne, 35% Petit Champagne. It's aged between 4 and 20 years. Nearly 300 Adobe go into the mix. The pack shot with and without the case. So I can show that. And if there are cocktails that I should know about, it's all in my pocket with me at all time for quick references. Same thing with Contreau or the different champagnes that we might have. I can go in the Charles Heidsieck Banque de Millionnaire, have the winemaker synopsis on it, the chart style, the bottle. I can see closer shots of that bottle and tasting notes, so I can speak about it, making sure that I know what I'm saying. And again, from there, we can always share that content. This iPhone is not configured, but it will email those cheat sheets to you if need be. All right, so this is, again, very easy, very straightforward app that was very easy to put together, and that became a very good tool for our people to have in their pocket when they need to talk about those brands or those products at a moment's notice. So that's about it for the demo. I'll just go back to the presentation for a moment so that I can talk to you about the next steps that we have in mind at Remy Cointreau. As I said, the entitlement is still something that we have to completely figure out and make sure that we track it as best we can, making sure that we know who downloaded what folio and how often they read it. So pairing entitlement with monitoring and tracking will be a huge help, and if it can be done with Active Directory, that's a more seamless integration for the rest of our tools here at Remy Cointreau. We are also maybe considering creating financial reports on iPads or the distribution of our internal magazines on this support so that we save paper and also can provide a bit more interactivity to our users. We have HR documents that could be processed through that same medium, the 401k communication, as well as the information that IT tries to send to user all the time. So how to access your VPN. We can envision a quick cheat sheet about VPN access, how to access the webmail, the different useful websites that we might want to look at, how to connect to the T&E system, etc., etc. One of the things that we also have in the pipe at the moment is an app dedicated to our collection of vintage cocktail books. At the moment, it's something that's in PDF. We spent a lot of time and effort collecting those very rare books. Some of them are very, very old and very, very rare. They're in PDF format at the moment. We're hoping to make them a DPS, a folio for DPS, so that we can control their distribution and make them a showcase of our bartender outreach program. And as we partner with our new resource on the building of those folios, we're hoping to maybe try to build a more common structure for those folios in order to gain consistency, make sure that we always follow the same path: the history, the cocktails, the tasting notes, the point of sale materials, the press, and PR content. Keep doing it that way so that when we have new users, it's very easy for them to find what they're looking for. And when we integrate new brands in our portfolio, it's also a quick learning curve to get up to speed. That's it for me today. Here's my contact information. If you would like to have a bit more information on what we've done or how we've done it, I'm more than happy to answer any questions you might have by email or over the phone. In the meantime, I think I'll turn it back to Dave for the Q&A.